What is going on, everybody? Joshua Cook back for another edition of St. Pius X Football with Greg Cranfill, the head coach of the St. Pius X Panthers, and it is officially playoff week. It's not just game week, it is playoff week. That sounds different. It sounds very good for head football coaches, especially as you're getting ready for a playoff game. Coach, you came off a bye week last week. You had an open week to work on some things, to retool some things, get some guys healthy again. How are you feeling about this team heading into this first round of the playoffs?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about where we are right now, and you're exactly right. You know, that bye week, we were standing over there in between offensive and defensive group, and I looked over there, and we had 6 starters standing over there dealing with injuries, and I told them, I said, man, how blessed we are that our open week came right now. So it was a good deal. And just like you said, you know, I met with the team yesterday. And that's the first thing I told him. I said, it's one of my favorite things to say as a head football coach, but congratulations to the 2020 state playoffs. And you've been given an opportunity to make a run. I remember Coach Irwin used to always say, all you got to do is just get hot. And you guys know that in the sports world, you get through that regular season, and then all of a sudden a couple things happen, and you get hot, and then you make a run. You go back to the Giants when they beat the Patriots. I think they finished the regular season, like 7-6 or something, you know, it's something like that. But then they got hot and made a run. So anything is possible once you get into the playoffs. And that's kind of our mantra. I told them we're pushing all our chips in the middle of the table, and we're going all in. And we're going to try to make a run. So that's our whole goal right now.
Yeah, a lot of coaches, they talk about the 3 different seasons. There's the off season. It's 3 different. Well, I guess 4 different seasons: off season, the preseason, the district season, then the playoff season.
Yeah.
So you kind of have 4 different seasons. Now it's like, you know, y'all were 4-3 on the year. That doesn't matter anymore.
No.
You look back on it and say, okay, guys, we went 4-3, but now we're 0-0. This is how many games. You know, it's like when the Astros count down their playoff wins. This is how many boxes you have to check to win that state championship at the end of the day.
Yes, sir. And that's the joy of being in the situation that you are in, is knowing that, you know, we've got to have nothing but A games from here on out. That's not to say we can't make a mistake, because it's football. But we just got to make fewer mistakes than the teams that we're playing, and then live to see another day.
Was there anything during the bye week that you kind of focused on more than something else? You know, in the last week's show, you talked about getting back to fundamentals with some of the younger guys, you know, teaching fundamentals, footwork, things like that. Was there anything else, like when you look back at those 7 games, that you thought, man, we have to hammer this home because it's the playoffs now? Right.
And I think it wasn't just something we were saying. It was really, truly what we did. We went back and we spent a bunch of time just tackling, you know. I think our attack point was too high for a lot of our defensive players, and we just lowered that attack point by 2 or 3 inches. And you go, come on, coach, are you serious? And absolutely, we're serious. You know, we talk about the control of our eyes and where we put our eyes and where we put our nose, you know, to keep our helmet out of the tackle, but still be effective how we're doing it. And those little things aren't little things when it comes to tackling a back like Midland Christian's about to have, a 6 foot, 205-pound guy that can roll. So it's those things that are part of the process that make us a better football team. Offensively, we did a lot of 2-on-1 and 1-on-1 stuff up front with our offensive line, trying to control hands. In our passing game, we just let Carson and Cale Skinner throw it about 1,000 times, you know, just to try to hone in on a couple of those routes. And we took specific guys like Logan and Ricky and said, okay, let's just the 3 of us work specifically on these routes. So it gave us a lot of time just to work some individual stuff, which is what we need. And we felt real pleased with the outcome of last week.
Yeah, you mentioned Midland Christian. That's who you'll be playing this week in the area round of the TAPS playoffs. And Midland Christian coming into this game 3-3 on the year. You mentioned the running back Brad Evans, 96 carries, 769 yards, and 10 touchdowns. You know, they've got a good quarterback in River Rodriguez as well. He can throw the ball over 800 yards, 8 touchdowns. You know, they've had to kind of deal with some, as we've all in 2020, they've had to deal with some things. They've kind of been out for the last couple of weeks due to some COVID-19 stuff. They're supposed to be coming back this week. talk about just getting ready for this team. You know they're going to be hungry because they haven't been on the field for a couple of weeks, but they've got the pieces to be a pretty good football team here in the playoffs.
Absolutely. And you look at a couple of the rankings, these guys are ranked as high as, 6th and 7th in the state right now just because of what they can do. They're a well-coached ball club, and they get after it. They've been up in that Dallas district among giants, with 6'5", 6'6" offensive linemen like Preston Wood and those guys have. And they've been in there battling with them just because of the fact that they get after it. It's been a couple of weeks since they played, so the tape that we have is from 2 weeks ago, and then they had some injuries in which some of the tapes that we have don't even show their full arsenal of talent. So there's a lot of piecing together that we're trying to do because the quarterback that you mentioned had been out for one of those games, and he's going to be back. So I told the coaches in the meeting this weekend, I said, there's two ways to look at it. They can come back off a 14-day break and lay an egg, or they can come back and be like Wisconsin, who just throttled Michigan the other day after a whole month off. So we've got to be prepared for everything, and the key of it is not to focus on them as much as it is taking care of what we need to do from our end.
Yeah, and I was about to say that's kind of been your mantra throughout this season. Is anytime we talk about the opponent, it's like that's great they have a good ball club, but we have to take care of our stuff in house here first, no matter what they bring. Because, like you said, you can almost kind of approach this game like kind of like a season opener where they haven't played a little bit, they're kind of coming back and things like that. But as you look at your crew inside, Carson Rogers at quarterback, Carson Hens on the defensive side, other guys that we've seen throughout the season, you've got to feel pretty good about the pieces that you have, especially Carson, the way he's throwing the ball.
Absolutely. And, he's been a leader of this football team, and all those guys that you just mentioned have been true leaders of this football team. But for us, it does, offensively, it starts with Carson and decisions that he has made. And he's carried us through any time. And you go back and look at this, and in my experience, the best thing to look at a quarterback is how much he's had to deal with change. And, from losing Undra to a season-ending injury, it almost kind of changed who we were offensively. But it didn't affect Carson at all. He just stepped into that role where instead of running it 10 more times a game, now we're throwing it 10 more times a game. And what are we doing with those 10 throws? And are they as effective as it was when we were running the football? And I think that Carson's proven that, Coach, if you want to throw it 60 times, I'll do it. Now that comes with a lot of the meshing and the relationships that he has with his receivers, the time that they spend after just to kind of polish any one of the routes, so that way we know going into it that we can complete that route just about versus anyone. It's a proud moment for a coach knowing that those guys are not only good football players but good dudes as well. You know what I mean? That they're going to do the right thing, and that's a true test, or a true basically testament for a coach. Not necessarily what your kids do out on the field, but what are they doing off of the field? And I think I've got a locker room full of guys that do the right thing.
Yeah, it's a locker room full of guys that, first off, are not going to have to get on the bus and go travel for this playoff game. Let's talk about that. You get a home playoff game at Kubiak Stadium on Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. And that's got to be exciting just for the fact that, you get a home playoff game. Absolutely. And then you get to also show off that new turf. You knew I was going to come back to the new turf again at some point.
I like those plugs, man. That's great. Because it's giving credit to the people that helped put that stuff out there. This past week there was a meeting of some of the alumni out on that field, and I think the key thing is they're looking out at that brand new turf. Guys that have played in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. They're looking at that brand new turf. And, I told a couple of them, the reality of it is there's turf on that top, but underneath is all the rocks and all the dirt and all the foundation that guys like those guys laid for guys like the 2020 football team to have such nice things when it comes to, brand new turf. And that's where we are. I told you we play for those who came before us, and we set the standard for those who follow. And I think those guys that were sitting in those stands, they appreciate the fact that that we in 2020 are still looking back and talking about those teams and those championships that those guys have won as the level of expectation here at St. Pius. And it's a good way, it's a good place to be.
Yeah, you walk past Jeff Feller's athletic director office there, and right next to it is a big trophy case that's got Gary Kubiak's number 9 jersey hanging there. It's got Grant Gunnell, which, by the way, had a good game for Arizona over the weekend, over 280 yards passing, 3 touchdowns for Arizona against a feisty USC team. So a lot of people excited about him. Got his Player of the Year trophy, Built Ford trophy.
Billy Noonan is
Billy,
also good.
yeah, Billy Noonan's trophy's in there as well, and a lot of the history and stuff. And I know you're hoping this Saturday you add to that history with another playoff victory. As you look at that, what are going to be the keys to victory on Saturday afternoon?
I think trying to force them to throw the football. That's what we're going to do. They have a powerful running game with the quarterback who can run the football and their tailback. Also can step in. They run some wildcat stuff, just where to put the ball in his hands. It's going to be a true test for us up front. Can we handle that running game and force them into 3rd and long? And then we like our chances if we get in 3rd and long. Now they've got some skilled players on the edge that can make plays, but it is in our advantage, we feel like, to force them, just like any other football team, to force them into 3rd and long and see how things go from there. Offensively, it's got to be a situation in which we control the football and just keep moving the chains, and then sprinkle in those explosive plays with some of our dynamic athletes.
Well, St. Pius X football takes on Midland Christian on Saturday afternoon. It's a playoff game over at Kubiak Stadium, 3 o'clock. Check out SPX Panthers on Twitter for all the ticketing information. I'm sure Khadijah Ray and company have put all that information out there of how much tickets are, how to get tickets, how to come in with COVID protocols, and different things like that. So, and I think it's the theme is orange. Is it orange out Kubiak Stadium on Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, and the guys, those people that you've named, as well as a couple other people, have done an outstanding job of pushing that promotion. We sold over 220 playoff T-shirts, all bright orange and ready to roll. Man, we're gonna try to show these kids that are out there playing that they have the support from this community, and they know that, they feel that, and it's exciting. And we just wanted to do it Saturday afternoon to give them that college game day experience, and just to go. Friday Night Lights is amazing, but sprinkle it in with the Saturday afternoon game is pretty special, and that's why we like doing it that first round.
Yeah, it's a little different feel. You get an extra day to build up to it, an extra day to get hyped for it,
Right.
which I think, not letting the cat out of the bag, but there might be kind of a cool hype video coming soon. It could be potentially. You got to check out Twitter and stuff over the next few days. So maybe some little Panther hype coming as the Panthers get ready to take on Midland Christian on Saturday afternoon. Well, Coach, we appreciate the time. As always, every single week we're on the VYPE Media Network with the SPX Football Show with Greg Cranfill. And best of luck this weekend as the Panthers take on Midland Christian in a playoff game Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock at Kubiak Stadium.
Go Panthers.